is 6 times 7, right? So basically 6 times 7, how much do we get? How much? You will get 42. It is simply the area of the base. That 42 is just the area of the base. Now for you to find the volume here, your volume will simply be that 42, but you're going to multiply it by how much? You will just multiply it by 10. What is 42 times 10? It'll give you 420. And that will simply be the volume of the first one. What about the second one, guys? You need to pay attention to what the base is. This is the base. And when you look at the base, what type of diagram is it? In this case, it is just the triangle, okay? And how do we calculate the area of the triangle, guys? It is half base times height. Now, I need you guys, please keep quiet. Thank you. You will simply multiply this by base times height. A lot of you guys confuse this height as though it is the height of the prism. Please note that this height is simply the height of the triangle. And what is the height of the triangle in this case? It is 5. What is the height of the whole prism? It is 20. Guys, this is the formula that you can use to find the volume of a triangular prism. Okay, now in this case, you will simply have half base. What is the base of the triangle? It's 10. You're going to multiply it by how much? My 5. And then what is the height of the prism? It is 20. How much do we get? Correct, it's 500. Now, let's get to the cylinder. With respect to the cylinder, guys, what is our base? The base is the circle. And how do we find the area of the circle? It is pi r squared. And then you're going to multiply it by the height. Okay. Now, pi r squared, what is the radius of that circle? It is just 5. Okay. The radius will just be 5. Okay. Sometimes I will give you a diameter. Now, remember, if you're given a diameter, you just divide it by 2 to get the radius. Okay. Now, in this case, guys, if I calculate the volume, it'll just be pi, but where there's r, I'll substitute 5. Where there's h, I'll substitute 10. It'll simply give me my volume, and my volume will be 50 pi. And what is 50 pi here? Actually, it's not 50 pi. It's 250 pi. And that will be 780 something, if I'm not mistaken. Comma 3. Is it 39? So it'll simply be comma 4. 40, okay? Now, guys, please note, this is how we're going to calculate this. The volume of the first diagram, you will simply multiply the area of the base with the height, and that will be 7 times 6. You multiply it with the height of 10, which is the perpendicular height, and that will give you 420. For the second one, you will simply take half base times height. Note that this is simply the area of the triangle. All right? So basically, this 5 will be the height of the triangle, which is that height over there. Okay? And you multiply it by the perpendicular height of the prism, which is 20, and that will give you 500. Questions? All right. We're good. Now, with respect to this, guys, I will send the video. With respect to this cylinder, guys, our base, as we have said, is a circle, and that is the base over there. You will simply calculate the area of that base multiplied by the height. So whenever you're given the cylinder, this is the formula that you are going to use. And where there's r, you will substitute 5, and that will give you 250 pi. 250 pi, when you simplify it, it will give you 785,40, which is in cubic centimeters. Okay. Now, this is yours, but I'm going to do it with you guys, okay? All right. Now, here, what are we going to do, guys? How are we going to work this out?
What, the triangular prism?
Yes.
The triangular prism is pretty simple.
which is what? So basically the volume for number 1 will be half 16 20 times 15. That's how you're going to get it, okay? Are we all together there with the volume that I've just calculated? What about B? I will divide it. It depends on how you guys want to divide it, but this is how I will divide it. I think it's the simpler way. I will simply divide it that way. Now, the red part that I drew there, what will be the value of the red part that I drew? It'll be 4. How did you get that 4? Because the whole line is equal to 10. And this is how much? This is 3, that is 3. So 10 minus 3 will give you 4. Now it's easy for me to find the volume of whatever I have there. So how am I going to get the volume?
The volume?
Yes. 4 times? Times 5? Times 7. Because this, guys, keep quiet. This becomes what? It's in dots, those dots over there. Or must I do it that way? What is that, guys? It is the base. But note that in this base, what is the value of this side? It is 5. So 5 times 4. That's how we found that 5 times 4. But what is the height of this prism? It is 7. That's why we multiply by that 7. No, the bottom one. Now, let's go to the top one. The top one, how do we calculate it? 4 times? 4 times? So you guys said it's going to be 4 times 10 and then? Times? Guys, that is, okay, I see what you guys did. 4 times 10, you times it by 7. Okay, I would have done it differently. I would have simply said 4. I was going to use this as the base. And I was going to say 7 times 10, and then I'll multiply that by 4. It depends on you, but you will still get the same answer. Okay, we're good here? You sure? Now, how do we do C, guys?
You find the area of the triangle.
The area of the triangle, which is what? Half?
Can I see many others?
8 times 12. And then all of this will be multiplied by how much? You will multiply it by 20. That's how you will find the volume. Okay, the last one, guys. Kosiam. Questions? The last one. The last one, how will we do it, guys? So you will simply calculate the volume of the bigger rectangle, right? How would you calculate the volume of the bigger rectangle, guys?
12 times
16 times?
12 times height.
The height is 16.
So you'll say 16 times 12 times 5. And then this will give you the volume of the bigger rectangular cylinder. Guys, yes, the bigger one. The whole box. Not rectangular cylinder, prism. Come on now. Out. Now, obviously, I've calculated the volume of the whole box. But please note that I can't calculate the volume of the whole box because what needs to happen? I need to take out the middle part. Okay. So basically, I also need to find the volume of the smaller one. So basically, guys, where do I get basically, huh? This is what we're going to have. This smaller part here Okay, it doesn't look anything like that. Now, the height of the smaller one, what is it? It is 5. Okay. All right. And then how do we calculate the volume here of the smaller one? Remember, the smaller one is this part here that I'm taking out. What do we get? It's 4 times 5 times 5. Now, whatever I get as the volume here, for me to get the volume of this part here, I will simply take whatever I get here and minus that volume over there. We all good? You sure? 4? No, B we don't subtract. B we just divide it. But in this case, we have to subtract the middle one. I need to also remember of a toilet paper, guys. So maths is everywhere. It's even in the toilet. Okay? With the toilet paper, guys. The toilet paper, do you realize that it's a cylinder? But you have 2 cylinders. It was a full cylinder, but what did we do? We took out the middle part. Now, when you say the brown one now, it doesn't sound right. You were not supposed to say the brown one. Alright guys, this is what we're going to do for this one. As I've told you, we will simply use this formula to calculate the volume, and as I've said, it will be the area of the triangle. Please remember, this is the area of the triangle over there, and that one over there. Okay, that is the area of the triangle. You'll multiply it by the height of 15 centimeters. That will give you 2,400 cubic centimeters. Your volume will always be in cubes. We find all the time. Okay. Now with respect to C, it's the same thing. You find the area of the triangle, you multiply it by the height, and the perpendicular height will be 20. This, guys, as we have said, we're going to divide it, and that will be 4 centimeters, and then calculate the area of the bottom rectangular prism, and obviously the volume of the bottom rectangular prism, which is 4 times 7. You multiply it by the height of 5, and you will get a volume of that bottom part. And for the top part, we took 10 multiplied by 7. We multiplied by the height of the prism, which is 4. Focus there, Lesego. Okay, and the total volume for this one will be 140 cubic centimeters. The bottom one, as we have discussed it, guys, you calculate the volume of the whole rectangular cylinder, and obviously it will be 16 times 12. You multiplied it by 5, and that will give you the volume of the bigger cylinder, not cylinder, rectangular prism. I keep on saying cylinder, rectangular prism, and which will be 16 times 12 times 5, and the volume of the smaller one will be 4 times 5 times the height, which is 5, and you will subtract that from the total volume. It will simply give you the volume of the remaining rectangular cylinder, which will have an open space in between, and that volume will simply be 960 minus 100. 960 minus 100 will give you 860 cubic centimeters. Questions? No, there's no rectangular cylinder. It's just a rectangular prism. What's wrong with you? I'll remind you of your mistakes in your test. Don't try me. Now, guys, anyone, let's get that. What are we going to take and multiply with what? For E. Perfect. It's half. You guys forgot half. It'll simply be, is it 18? and I wrote it as 15. Wow. So here we're going to have 18. Sorry for that. Now it actually defeats the whole papers. So here, guys, we're going to have half of 150. You multiply it by 18. You multiply it by 110. How much do we get? Let's say, focus. How much do we get?
Let me check on my calculator.
138,000. 148,500, which is cubic centimeters, okay? The next one, how are we going to calculate it? We have the little triangle. What is the height of that little triangle? Little triangle. How is it 80, guys? Okay, the height will be 18. All right, I see what you guys did. Let's focus on the triangle itself. What is the height of the triangle? The height of the triangle, not of the prism. Yes, that tiny little thing. It'll be 14. It's 14. How do we get that 40, guys? Because the height from there to there is how much? It is 16, right? Now, the total height is how much? The total height will be? So the total height, you agree that it's 100. So it'll be 100 minus 60. What is 100 minus 60? It's 14. So basically here we're going to have 80. And it tells us that the area, the volume of that triangular prism will be how much? Half 40 times 80 times 80. And then we're going to add it with what? We're going to add it with what?
The volume of the prism.
Which prism? The square. It's not really a square. Is it a square? No, it's not. Which is what?
60 times 80.
Or we can say it's 80 times 80 times 60. It's 80 times 80 times 60. And you're going to add them up. Yes. No, I'm just going to give it. So this diagram in your exam, will it have the red line?
No.
It won't have the red line. So you'll have to figure it out.
Can we see the diagram without the red line quick?
Ah, come on now. I can't do that. Not now. It's so much work, sorry.
So your laptop can
It can what? It can what? It can what? Huh? It can what? Huh? I can't hear you. It can what? Okay. Awesome. Then we're done. Questions? Sorry? Nah, that is wrong, guys. It's supposed to be 14. Okay? Sorry for that. May I continue? Now, this is when I try to twist things And you guys will normally say, but we didn't learn this in class. I don't know why you guys love saying that.
I apologize for the interruption. All leaders who have applied for the Leadership Council, can they please meet with Mr. Carr in the assembly quad? And all staff members, can you please go to Mrs. Ashley's classroom now? That's all staff members to Mrs. Ashley's classroom and the Leadership Council to please meet with Mr. Carr in the assembly quad now. Thank you.
Are they saying like now, now, now? Is it now, later, or now, now? I can't. I'm sorry. Alright, guys, let's just work. I'm gonna I'll go at the end of the period. It's fine. Will they fire me for teaching you? Then let them fire me. Alright, guys, for us to calculate the volume here, do you guys realize that here we are given the volume? But what is missing? The height. You continue, guys, writing things as they are. Volume is simply area of base times height. But please note that the area of the base will have height in it. But that height will be what? The area of the base will have height in it. What will be the value of that height? It is h. It is just h or x, right? If you want to call it x. Basically, in brackets, we're going to have h times 8. And then we'll multiply it by how much? By 10. Are we good?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
So it'll be half height times 8. This is the height here. Guys, this is our base. And for us to calculate that base, we'll take h times 8, which is just the height times 8, and then you'll multiply it by the height of the prism, which is 10. And hence, I will multiply this whole thing by 10. Yes? No. But we do have the volume, guys. What is the volume? It's 880. So you will just equate the whole thing to 880. How would you solve for h?
You divide by 40.
Divide by 40. Hence, you'll have h is equal to 22. So the height will be 22 centimeters. Yes. Now, guys, let me just give that to you. Calculate h quickly for the second one. Let's see. Half times h times 12 times 14. Yo, impatience. Equals to how much?
1,176.
Perfect. What do we do now? Divide by 84. It'll give us h. H will be 14. And then we've got Tara. Guys, that will be your homework. As a matter of fact, please write this one as homework, okay? It's this. And that. And this. And this over here. And this one over here. And okay, I'll stop right there. I'll just stop right there, guys. You do up to there, all right? And that's it for today.